5 years of war forced many Syrians to migrate and seek refuges in other countries, till some of them reached the North Pole in Norway, in order to escape the hate of this war. However, there are also those who choose to stay here in Syria, despite they have a citizenship or resident visa in other countries. The following meetings shed a light on some of the experience of those who choose to stay here. Let's see.
Hello, my name is Ruba Asbahi. I have a PhD in contemporary history and international relations. I'm a former university professor. I taught at Damascus University and several other private universities. But prior to that, I was living outside of Syria. I came back to Syria because of the crisis, because this is the time to be in my country and try to do whatever I can do to help and to support and to give to my mother, who is my country, in her time of need, as she gave me once when I was in need. I came back and I never regretted my decision. I'm very happy that I'm here. Now we feel the pressure. Of course, it's normal because we are going through a war, but it's important to stay here. I'm actually wearing right now a t-shirt from the marathon I participated in today. The marathon is called Our Syria because today is Independence Day, and we're just reminding everybody how important our country is to us. So I think I'm sort of fulfilling the role that I came for here, and I'm very happy with that.
Hello, my name is Rabab Hashim. I am a university professor, and I lived most of my time, most of my life out of Syria. But when the crisis in Syria started and the war started, I felt that I should be back home in Syria. I retired, of course. My age doesn't allow me to work now. I retired, but I prefer to be back here in Syria, lead my life, my normal life here in Syria. I'm not doing much, I'm not that active, but just being here, living a normal life in Syria makes me feel that I am supporting my country, being with my country. My country, I should be with my country in the time of crisis. Although it is in a time of, this difficult time, but I'm happy I'm back.
I am Munir Asbahi. I am a retired professor of English. When events in Syria started, I was living in Saudi Arabia. And before that, I lived in the United States for a period of time. Now, in both places, I had a reasonable life, but I never felt that I am at home. Syria is home. That the West, Britain, France, and the United States have always opposed Arab aspirations and worked against the Arab people. For these countries suddenly to become the friends of Syria, this didn't work for me. It didn't make sense. Who are trying to change the situation in Syria.
Ever since I was at high school, I wanted to come and study here in Syria, but my parents were against it. So I finished my bachelor's degree there and decided that I would come here for my co-op training. But again, my university had some kind of agreement with Cisco, so I had to work there for 9 months. The crisis began in 2011, and we kind of became more emotional about what was happening here in Syria. And every time I was asked about Syria, I don't know why I overreacted. Whenever the topic of Syria was brought up by someone, I overreacted because I didn't want to hear one negative word about my country. I was telling everyone that everything's going to be fine. These are all lies by the media, and there isn't really a war. Well, there is a war, but we thought that it would last for a year or two, not for 5 years. In around 2013, I started to believe that if I don't go to Syria now, it'll never happen, like now or never. Sometimes I think that maybe because we were created from land and so we are attached to it somehow. I know we are souls, we are not bodies, but our bodies are not trash. After all, they are attached to the land. And if you remember in Gone with the Wind, the movie, towards the end of the movie, Scarlett says when she loses everything, she says, "I'm going back to Terra. Terra is her land." And her dad in the beginning of the movie tells her that you should only take care of Terra because it's your land, and land is the only thing that lasts. I know everybody's leaving, and that is mainly why we should stay. Like, people who think they have talents, they could do something about building the country. I don't mean building in the sense of real estate and stuff like that. Like building talents here, building the society itself.
I am an American citizen by birth. I am Syrian because my mom and dad are Syrian, and I first came to Syria when I was 6 years old. Most of my life I lived outside of Syria. Nevertheless, when the crisis happened, it seemed like I had no choice but to come back. Not because I didn't actually have the choice, but because that's what my heart felt. That's where I felt I needed to be. I felt suddenly like my whole life was intertwined with Syria's fate. When I came home, despite everything, I felt like a tree that had been replanted, and its roots finally felt happy and well and healthy. I always remember what President Kennedy said when he said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." So this is really the bottom line. And as I said, this is my mother. And there is no way I'm going to leave my mother when she is feeling ill. This is the time to be with her and to take care of her. Will I ever leave Syria? I don't know. But as long as there's a crisis and I can do something to help, I'm staying here.